This NFL player risked his own life to save his little sisters from a drive-by shooting when he was only 14 years old. There are other surprising facts about Davante Adams' life that I wasn't expecting after watching The Receiver, which honestly maybe didn't tell the whole story. He grew up in East Palo Alto, which he says was full of drugs, crime, and a lot of gangs. He describes it like this. Palo Alto is the Pride Rock of the Lion King universe. East Palo Alto is the Elephant Cemetery. Most of his friends ended up dead or in jail, but he credits his parents for the different path his life took. His mom worked 2 jobs to support him and his 3 siblings. He says, "That was my superwoman. My mom was the epitome of a legalized hustler." His mom says, "I kept him so tied up in sports that I didn't allow him to know the streets." He was a basketball player at Palo Alto High School, or Pali as it's known to locals. He only picked up football his junior year. His classmate and teammate Jack Peterson, who's gone on to play in the MLB, had better stats than him at wide receiver in high school. He wasn't heavily recruited by colleges, and his grades were terrible, lots of D's on his report cards. So senior year, he enrolled in 8 classes instead of the 4 that his classmates were taking. His mom signed him up for 4 hours of SAT prep classes every Saturday, which she says he's still salty about. But it worked. Fresno State was happy with his grades and recruited him. There, he played with his now close friend Derek Carr, who he was able to briefly play with in the NFL when they were both on the Raiders. He also met his wife at Fresno State. They had 3 children together, and he says having kids totally reshaped his priorities and made him think about the world differently. Aside from the random Aaron Rodgers-esque Costa Rica part of this quote, this one really struck me. He split his time between his dad's house and his mom's house when he was little, and with his dad, there were 9 other people in the house. He ended up sleeping on couches, the floor. He just didn't have a lot growing up. He wasn't bitter about it, but he really seems to appreciate the life he's been given through the NFL. He consistently cries in the scene in Southpaw where, spoiler alert, Rachel McAdams' character gets killed. He apparently loves Rachel McAdams. He also loves sour Skittles, and family means the world to him. That's why he was so excited when he moved to the Raiders. Finally, his extended family would be able to see him play. They hadn't been able to when he was in Wisconsin. And now that he's with the Rams, it'll be even easier for them to make the trek from the Bay Area. I'm excited to see what he does with Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford this season. Which player should I cover next?